Life needs energy. All organisms, from the simplest bacteria to humans, run on energy. But where do they obtain the energy they need? Energy may originate from sunlight or food, but it must be ultimately converted to the cellular energy currency of adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the energy that keeps everything going. It is the energy produced through cellular respiration. Cellular respiration can be classified into two types, depending on the need for oxygen. Aerobic respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen, while anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. Aerobic cellular respiration involves three major steps. The first step is glycolysis, which takes place in the cytoplasm and commonly begins with the simple sugar glucose. In the process, the single molecule of glucose is broken down into two molecules of pyruvic acid. Two molecules of ATP and two molecules of NADH are also produced. But before the second step begins, pyruvate is converted to acetyl-CoA. Now, the second step, which takes place in the matrix of the mitochondria, is called the citric acid cycle or the Krebs cycle. During this step, 4 carbon dioxide molecules is released and 2 ATP, 6 NADH, and 2 FADH2 are produced. The final step, which occurs in the membrane of the mitochondria and requires oxygen directly, is the electron transport chain. This process takes the coenzymes and passes them through a series of electron carriers until ATP is produced. Now we go to fermentation. Fermentation also starts with glycolysis. However, a net total of only 2 ATP molecules per glucose molecule are produced. Lactic acid fermentation is done by some fungi and some bacteria. In the process of lactic acid fermentation, the 3 carbon pyruvic acid molecules are turned into lactate. On the other hand, alcohol fermentation is done by yeast and some kinds of bacteria. The waste products of this process are ethanol and carbon dioxide. Photosynthesis is also another chemical process that occurs in green plants, seaweeds, and certain bacteria. This is the process by which green plants and other organisms use the energy of light to convert carbon dioxide and water into the simple sugar glucose. The photosynthesis process is divided up into 2 steps. The first part of this process consists of the light reactions, while the second is called the dark reactions. But this isn't like good versus evil. The light-dependent reaction happens in the thylakoid membrane and converts light energy to chemical energy stored in both ATP and NADPH. During this reaction, water is split so that you get electrons and oxygen. The dark reaction, sometimes referred to as the Calvin cycle, takes place in the stroma, the fluid within the chloroplast, and converts carbon dioxide to sugar. This reaction requires the products of the light reaction. Photosynthesis provides the basic energy source for all organisms, and life would cease to exist without the plants and their ability to do photosynthesis. Plants, such as trees, absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere for photosynthesis, thus regulating the natural greenhouse effect. At present, huge portions of the forests in the Philippines are denuded by illegal logging and the slash-and-burn method. The destruction of trees reduces their sink for the carbon dioxide we are pumping into the atmosphere. Furthermore, the burning of forests releases large amounts of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that allows incoming heat to enter the atmosphere and prevents its escape. So, if you want to put an end to this, start treating the world as if you are Gollum and the world is your precious.
Created using Powtoon.